Hello, and welcome to the Rat Podcast. You thought we were done. You thought, hey, we did get any views on the fast food tier list. We finally done it. We've killed the podcast. Psyched. We're still going, baby.
Hey, we went up 5 subscribers.
Yeah, 12 subscribers now.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
That's profit.
Yeah. Can't wait to start seeing paycheck.
Can you subscribe minus our current subscriber total from 100,000 and tell us how far away we are from the plaque?
A few, I think, give or take 10. I think we're 3 away.
So we're close.
Give or take 10. Yeah.
Close. Yeah.
So by two more episodes,
we'll
get our own plaque.
If we get the plaque,
yeah.
Who gets it out of us?
We saw it in 3 pieces, and then we each get.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, because Jared got kicked out of the podcast to fill you guys in.
Oh yeah, Jared's not here.
Yeah, he was playing The Last of Us, and he didn't do his homework, so.
Oh yeah.
He's in timeout over in the.
He's kicked out this time. Yeah.
So this week, if you've read the thumbnail, well, I guess looked at the thumbnail and read the title, you can tell we're talking about Space Force.
Good topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
sure.
I should probably introduce you guys. I mean, I know we're just so comfortable at this point. Our fan base knows us. It's all the new people out there. My name's Micaiah, and I'm joined by Ethan.
Hello.
And Reese.
Short list this week.
Yeah, you guys got to come up with better catchphrases too.
You don't like my hello?
I've got a catchphrase. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
Top 10 Ellen Page sex scene.
Coming at number 1 is super.
Number 1. Super. Number 2.
So this is your catchphrase. You're gonna say this multiple times an episode, Reese.
Yeah. Whenever I say a zinger, I'm gonna exit the conversation. I'm gonna exit the zinger with that.
All right.
You're our comic relief of the group.
Well, I'm just a big Ellen Page fan. So anyway, I can work that into the conversation as naturally as possible.
But she's not in Space Force, Reese.
Well, that was pretty seamless. Yeah.
Well, actually, she's the monkey. You didn't know that. Just as you didn't know that Dylan O'Brien was the voice of Bumblebee.
Listen, okay, I was stunned when I learned that, okay?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
So Dylan O'Brien is I would like to stay with the boy.
I don't know if he's in Transformers, but in Bumblebee, he's the voice of Bumblebee.
Oh, okay. That's a different voice.
He didn't do I would like to stay with the boy.
All right, we got to find out who that is for the next episode. Our fans are dying
we got to get
to
him
know.
on the podcast.
Yeah. All right. Also, I do have to give a warning. Hayden is, I guess, binging the show right now, Space Force, and he may hop in at any moment. So, if for any of you driving, please be warned. We don't want to cause any accidents because then we'll lose the few fans we already have, and we can't afford to do that right now.
It's always a shock when he does join. He comes in.
Well, yeah,
like the
on the
Kool-Aid
topic,
man.
On the topic of special guest, I might be able to get a special guest on in a few episodes, but we can come back to that later.
I'm dying to hear about the special guest, Reese.
This sounds like a great, off the pod, behind the curtain type of convo.
Yeah.
We'll save it for the Patreon. Save it for the Patreon. And our upper tier subscribers.
Oh, yes.
All right. So back to Space Force. So how I figured we'd do this in order to get the most people to watch this as possible is we just first start with our initial spoiler-free impressions. And then
that's good.
Yeah, then after that we'll do an episode by episode breakdown.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Yeah, I finished the show last week.
Yeah, I finished it really quick.
Finished it like day 1. So.
You finished it all in one day?
So this is great. We've had different amount of time to think about it. So what I've got pulled up are the little sentence or two Netflix uses to describe each episode. So I'll read that off.
Okay.
And see if we can remember anything about that episode.
Okay.
Not even good or bad, just things that happened
Anything.
in the episode.
Is
Yeah.
it bad if we can't remember anything?
I think that's bad for the show, but it's good
Yeah.
for content. So
Okay.
either way, we win.
Okay.
And then after that, we can do our final review and then get into the B plot, which is fan favorite at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
we have only gotten one comment really on any of our videos, maybe two, depending on how you look at it. So judging by that, that's
Well,
clearly
on the
what
last
fans
video,
come here for.
on the last video, we got a comment from Chris Anderson, and
Oh,
I thought that was my old roommate.
it was a bot.
Yeah, it was a bot, and I was like, "What the, Chris? What are you sending us? Like, how'd you find the podcast?" But no, it was just this
it
random
said
bot.
like it said like sex scene at like
Yeah.
0.55.
Yeah, it was like, "Hey,
I,
please,
I
sex.com."
clicked on it and I was like, what? Because it was a timestamp
Yeah,
and it was
I
just,
know.
just
Like,
me
what?
doing the intro. It wasn't even like someone yawning or anything.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like,
What
"Chris,
gameplay
do
did you
make-
put in, Ethan?
wait,
That's
wait,
not what
wait,
I
Chris,
recorded.
you're not watching the podcast?
No.
Oh,
That's good. That's good on
Yeah.
us.
you gotta get that watch time up before we start getting monetization. Boy.
Yeah.
Right. This is a big money scheme, so.
Yeah, this is a pyramid scheme.
As soon as we get that plaque, baby, 100,000
Yeah.
subscribers will be
Just-
golden.
Up to each of our members.
If you
Yeah.
guys could sell each of your friends a subscriber, that would be great. And then they
Yeah.
could incorporate some of their friends, and then we could grow our subscription base
Yeah.
off of that.
And if each
That'd
of you
be great.
donate $1, we should be good. Yeah.
And
We'd
if
have
you all leave a
$12.
like, comment, subscribe,
Well, less because some of it's us. So we'd have
and
like $5.
Hey, I'll
and
take it.
and put a tweet out there saying what a great podcast. You know, Twitter, a great social media platform, a great way to promote a podcast. So
Good way to
We're-
spread the word.
yeah, we're not going to do any of this because we're very lazy. But
Yeah.
as the fans, this is your job to make us rich.
We-
So
We can't
Yeah,
do everything, okay?
You owe
Eventually,
us
it
money.
comes to the fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're giving you this great content.
For
You gotta
free.
do something for us. Yeah. Come on.
yeah, chop chop.
We do this shit once a week, okay? So
Yeah, we had homework this week. We had to watch Space Force.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, you want me to watch
Which-
that shit for free?
Which was a
I
good
think
thing because it was a good show.
oh.
So we're getting right into it.
Well, let me first tell people what Space Force is, because maybe not everyone knows. It's
Okay.
the
Yeah, this
new
is
Steve
I know.
Carell, Christopher Daniels comedy space show on Netflix. But
Christopher
Guys who made The
Daniels.
Office.
isn't that the guy who wrote The Office? Is it Greg Daniels?
Greg
Oh,
Daniels.
it's Greg Daniels. Oops.
Chris
Yeah.
Daniels is the voice of Bumblebee.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Basically the same person. Have we ever seen them both in the same room at the same time?
I can't
I'm
say
not. Oh, I haven't seen Bumblebee in the same room as anybody.
Well, there
Let
you
alone the voice of.
There you go. So, Ethan, you thought the show was good?
Yeah, you did it.
I thought the show was very mediocre. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
it's worth watching because people talk about it, and it has the potential to get better. But if it wasn't for the podcast, I don't know if I would have watched the whole show.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I don't think I would have watched it unless I had to. But I mean, I thought it was good. Like the biggest problem I had with it was
Is this a
it
spoiler?
wasn't that. No. It wasn't
Okay.
that funny.
Dude, if you say, I
But
was gonna say, if you said it
I
wasn't
mean,
that good,
I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought the characters were all they kind of carried the whole show for me.
I think it's supposed to be a comedy show, so is it
Yeah.
funny? Is a good measurement on if it's good. And I
no,
think
it's not funny.
there are episodes that have funny moments, and there's potential here, but I think there's, for one, too many characters, so they keep trying to just
There are a lot of characters.
do too many plot elements. For a 10-episode series, there's too many arcs,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, they kind of set up a lot of characters because they have that one soldier guy who has like a relationship with Steve Carell's daughter or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
That's
he
scary.
like shows up so randomly, and then like Yuri, the Russian spy,
Why
quote
beyond
unquote,
episode 1? Why is he
Yeah.
even in the show?
he's
could
not
just-
in it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, but the one thing that is so annoying to me is I have no idea what Steve Carell's wife did to get her in prison.
Yeah, I feel like she's in it for 40 years though, right?
Yeah, so did she kill someone? Did she leak some government secrets? I have no idea. She's like barely in it, and they never talk about what she did.
Yeah, talk about another character that doesn't need to be in it. I think it'd
Exactly.
be better if Steve Carell was a single dad
Yeah,
and his wife died.
Yeah,
that would have been so
that
much
would have
better.
made more sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's as much as we can say without getting into too specifics.
Wait, do you want to rate it before we go to the next spoiler topic?
Well, we're going to do a final review at the end, but Ethan says it's good. I think it's okay. What do you think, Reese?
It's okay.
All right. So overall it's slightly better than okay if we average in Ethan's good.
Damn it, Ethan.
So
You're
for
breaking up the average.
I'm so sorry.
so for a Netflix original series that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 10.
Yeah. For a Netflix original, that's
Good
high
job, Netflix.
praise.
You finally got one.
Yeah.
It meets all the boxes.
Yeah, it's got John Malkovich in it, so it's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
Hey man, he's just cashing in that check.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was in a Velvet Buzzsaw.
Oh, was
Speaking
he?
of 10 out of 10,
Was that
And
a
he's
good
in
movie?
Red.
no, that movie
Red.
Bruce
sucks.
Willis.
Like the
He's in Red?
ripoff.
Yeah.
God.
He's the guy who shoots the RPG with the bullet.
Yeah. I
I
completely forgot
haven't
that was a
seen
real
Red.
movie.
For whatever reason, I watched it in the theaters that I was laughing a lot, and I saw it with my grandma, so she thinks I really liked it, so she bought it for me on Blu-ray.
Oh no.
So I own Red and Red 2 on Blu-ray.
How come we're
Dude,
not
my
reviewing
grandma
this,
liked Red
Makai?
as well. I don't know why. My grandma liked it as too. It's a grandma movie.
I
And
guess
then-
it's
I guess
just
Expendables
people
is a
they
grandpa
know.
movie.
I think it's
I
just a
guess.
dad movie.
Yeah.
But back to Space Force. So
Yes.
this is going to be now spoiler heavy
Yes.
in the
We have a big
comments.
spoiler alert.
Oh,
Uh,
I really
don't
don't
want-
remember anything, so
I don't want people to say
say not
anything.
that spoiler heavy.
If you're in the comments complaining about spoilers, don't say I didn't warn you. Ethan is not going to bother to edit this, so
no, don't worry.
yeah, too bad. If you've only watched it episode 6 or whatever, and episode 1 we talk about the finale, that's on you.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna do that. So
Why are you watching a review halfway through the series? Come on, dude.
yeah, I
Come on,
mean, if you want to watch all the way through and get the show spoiled, I'm not saying our podcast is better than the show Space Force, but I think we're at least comparable. So
We're doing
that
it.
is an option too.
Yeah.
All right. So episode 1.
Yes.
This is named The Launch.
The launch.
Interesting.
Netflix says 4-star general Mark Naird, leader of the newly created Space Force, is pressured
Wait, his
to
name
launch.
is Mark?
Yeah,
What? You didn't know his name
pressured
was
to
Mark?
launch a satellite despite dire warnings from scientists. So, what do you guys remember about episode 1?
Well, I remember
It was
there was that
pretty
super
much the
weird thing at
trailer.
the end. Yeah, there was that super weird thing at the end that cut up the satellite. I was like, what the heck is this?
Isn't
so
that just a Chinese satellite?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was
but
like
it's-
aliens. It was so
Yeah.
weird. It came out of nowhere.
Oh, I thought it was understood that it was like a other country's satellite. I mean, later you learn
Yeah.
that it's Chinese.
I picked up on it. I picked up on that too. I think
I
it's
did
just
not.
Ethan.
It's just me.
But I do remember before we said we are going to watch this in the pod, I got 2/3 of the way through this episode. I didn't laugh once, and I was prepared to not watch any more of this. So it's
Well,
a very underwhelming first episode, I'd say.
I remember one thing from the trailer, and it was that I didn't laugh once when I watched the trailer. And then almost everything that happens in the trailer happened in this episode. So I didn't laugh.
It was a bad episode, for sure.
And it's kind of rough for a first start, you know?
Oh, it makes
Yeah.
a terrible first impression.
But listen,
Yeah.
Paul King directed this episode, the creator of Paddington and Paddington 2.
Paddington 2 is funny.
Is it?
What the fuck?
I've
You've
only
seen it?
Okay, can we talk about this?
So
Why have you seen it?
I was on a road trip and we got it at a Redbox. I was sitting in the front seat, and they were playing it in the back, but I heard it through the speakers or whatever, and I was laughing at it. There was some good jokes in there. I thought it was going to be terrible, but Paddington 2 is quite good, and I've heard Paddington 1's good too. So
What? This is a hot take. What the heck? I wasn't expecting this.
I'll stand for Paddington. I think it's like a Muppet level quality. It's like a kid's concept, but it's got adult, not like
What?
raunchy jokes, but just adult humor in it. Just jokes kids wouldn't get.
In Paddington?
Yeah,
And the Muppets?
And
yeah.
Yo, have we gotten to the B plot yet?
No,
Oh, no.
there he is, Hayden. No, we're
Man,
talking
episode.
about the first episode.
Of Space Force.
Yes.
How far through it are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
mean, you're not missing out on too much, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I legit did not have time this week to watch anything. So
well, we're happy to hear your opinion. So let's get into episode 2. What did you think?
I think
of Space
episode
Force.
episode 2, which on Netflix names this Save Epsilon 6. Here's the description. With his beloved satellite severely hobbled, General Naird must decide between a well-reasoned scientific solution and a chimp-led rescue mission. I have to say, I think this is by far the funniest episode on the show.
This episode is
Oh, for
so
sure.
funny.
And I don't know how
Jokes are not-
intentional it is. Yeah.
You're not. God, don't go willingly to the Chinese. He's
Yeah.
like, you mother effer better not talk. So dumb.
That's the other thing, dude. They curse a lot in the show.
Yeah.
Well, it's just all Netflix shows. It's trying to be edgy. Like, they won't let us do this on cable. We can cuss. We'll have a sex scene. This
We're
is
streaming.
Netflix.
You know,
Yeah.
we can do whatever we want.
This is the internet.
But it is so funny with the chimp and then you find out he ate the dog. That it so dumb.
Yeah, the best part of it is just Steve Carell trying to talk to a chimp via Skype or Zoom or whatever it is, trying to give him specific instructions. Talking about like serving his country and the greater good.
Yeah, he's gonna give him the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah,
And, and he's like, I take it back after he kills the dog.
yeah.
So
He's
dumb.
like- He tells the monkey he's gonna be floating in space for 6 days until he goes into the sun.
Just talking to a monkey.
Like, it's like, we don't leave a man behind. How much will it cost to save that monkey? $500,000.
He's like, he's like, you know what? Who cares? We're saving him. So dumb.
I didn't watch the show, but I did see the SNL skit with Steve Carell and the dead monkeys that float by the camera as he's talking live to a classroom full of children.
What?
Yeah,
Hey, you haven't seen that?
Yeah, he's I forgot about that. He's in like the space. They go to the space station and like there's just these dead monkeys floating
What?
around.
What?
talking
What?
to
Yeah,
us.
that was the inspiration for the Space Force.
Why were there dead monkeys?
It was like an experiment had gone wrong or something.
Yeah, they lost the oxygen or something, so it's just, or like they ran out of food or something.
What?
Yeah.
Speaking of monkeys, bro, that one scene in what's the movie with Brad Pitt? Ad Astra. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
I don't mean to go off topic
No.
here, but this is.
The CGI monkey.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
the,
a baboon.
yeah, they weren't They were like what are those white monkeys that live in Japan? They like bathe in the geysers. Do
Oh,
we know
the
what those are called?
Sekiro monkeys.
Yeah, I think they were Sekiro monkeys that had been mutated and they were eating people's faces.
Yeah, that scene completely caught me off guard. Very boring movie, by the way, but that was a really good scene.
Well, the first 10 minutes were great. That space elevator.
I tried to watch it on a plane and I got bored.
Yeah,
So
it-
That would
literally-
terrify me if I
Unbelievable.
was on a plane.
I literally went to sleep instead of finishing at Astra.
Yeah, it's not worth it, but it is on HBO Max, so
So
support.
I
it
gotta
is.
get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is worth it.
Yeah, so
All right.
What are we talking about again?
So I guess do we have anything else to... Oh, one more thing I want to say about episode 2. They make this big deal about the satellite and how expensive it is and yada yada yada. And then they just lose it. And nothing happens.
yeah.
It's like this $6 billion satellite.
good
How
point.
does the monkey even fix it at
And
all?
he doesn't fix it. He
Yeah, they
starts to
lose it.
fix it,
Yeah,
and then they just lose it. And the Secretary of Defense is just like, "Oh, you've had a bad day. You should get some rest."
yeah, exactly.
But they're talking like the whole time in episode 1
Yeah,
and most of episode 2. They're talking about if this thing goes down, everyone's gonna get fired because it's a $7 billion satellite.
yeah.
But then just nothing happens.
Well,
it's never mentioned again.
I think what they were talking about was they like if it didn't launch and it just like blew up on the launch pad, they would be fine. But then or they would be angry. But then once China destroyed it, they're like, "Oh, we gotta destroy China," and they didn't care.
I just think it's weird that it's never mentioned again after this
Yeah.
episode. It's barely mentioned in the
Just
end.
get some rest. Just get some rest. You'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're on to episode 3. These
Oh.
are going to get harder and harder to distinguish
Yeah.
beyond here.
I
Is
don't
this the one
remember
with the
episode
orange?
3 at all.
This is episode 3 is called Mark and Mallory, and while General Naird and Dr. Mallory brace themselves for a contentious hearing on Capitol Hill, Aaron gets to know Captain
Oh,
Ali, who is the pilot helicopter.
Oh yeah.
this episode sucked.
You didn't like the AOC in it
Yeah.
and Nancy Pelosi ripoffs in it.
They're in it for, it's like these are characters that they're trying to establish, but they don't need to be in it. It could just be a generic senator, and then they've
Who?
got
AOC.
any of the senators, because they've got like the flat earther Republican who you see in this episode.
Yeah.
You know what he is, and then they never mention him again.
Yeah.
But they keep trying to bring back this AOC chick, but
Yeah.
she,
Hey, who's hotter, the chick that plays Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
hot take, I think it's the chick who plays her.
Yeah. She is very attractive.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go
So-
AOC on that one.
Okay.
As
AOC,
a man
if you're
who
listening.
hasn't watched the show,
Yeah.
I respect you.
Well, no, I'm on the I'm on the episode guide right now on IMDb,
Okay.
and
So,
I'm keeping up.
all right, fair enough. Yeah.
I love their names. Like the Pelosi ripoff name is Pit OC.
Yeah. It's
Well, why hers is Aaron Naird?
no, Aaron Naird is not that's the
Oh.
daughter of
Yeah.
General Naird. That's not
Oh,
AOC.
okay. All right. I gotta look up AOC. Wait, so who plays AOC?
Ginger Gonzaga.
All right,
Gonzaga.
hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I have to
Her name
retract
is
my.
Annabella
And since
Yistro Campos.
and since Hayden brought up the daughter, can we just talk about how she's by far the worst character in the show,
What?
which
You don't like the daughter?
is very impressive.
When
She's-
she keeps
Oh,
that person's
she's
car,
yeah.
well, there's no disputing that. But
Yeah.
well,
How
I
old is she?
guess that
What
means
about the
she's
time when she
there.
gets on the truck of the stranger dude, like the last episode or the second to last?
Yeah. That
And she
that whole
just get-
plot line was so
it-
annoying.
And she just basically she almost gets human trafficked
Yeah.
just because she's
Like-
being angsty.
Spoken
Oh, wait, you guys didn't like that plotline?
no.
And
I
then
thought it,
the
granted,
dad
it
is
came out of nowhere, but it
Yeah.
was good.
it was so random.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck is this? I think she's funny in the show. Like, I think
I
she's
think
good.
it's her
That's a
best
hot
scene is
take.
when she tries to
Whoa.
throw the party, and she does it
Yeah.
on Snapchat, and no one comes. That's her best scene.
I thought that was
Much
a good
like the
character.
podcast.
Yes. But we got pizzas.
Well,
Yeah.
we got 12 subscribers now, Reese. So who's laughing now?
Liz-
Wait, hold
Sorry.
on. I just looked up the actual chick that plays AOC, and you think she's hotter than the real AOC?
Yeah.
Can we get a screen cap of this?
Yes.
I don't know who
share-
AOC
You could
is.
just share screen, Hayden.
I'm on an Xbox.
Uh,
I'm on one of those old Xboxes.
Can you ask Cortana?
Cortana, assessment. Where's the control room for the Halo ring? No, she's not responding. She's corrupted.
So this is not the most flattering picture of the actor who
Oh.
plays AOC, and then this is actually AOC.
Yeah. They look so much alike. What the heck? I never realized that.
Are they different people?
Yeah. AOC does not play herself, believe it or not.
Damn.
And we're sticking to our guns on.
I just think
Well, look
They're
up
just-
her name. Look up
What?
Ginger Gonzaga.
It's already open. You just have to click on. Okay.
There she is.
Oh no 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 no.
Oh.
Oh, is she married
Wait.
to Jim Carrey? What?
no, she was dating Jim Carrey apparently, and they split up.
What?
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 Aren't you looking at your screen?
They're all pictures with Jim Carrey. What the...
You know, Jim Carrey is the voice of Bumblebee.
Ah.
Well, that's not true.
What? He's not?
But all right, but I do still think Ginger Gonzaga is hotter than AOC.
I think the real person's hotter.
Oh, really? I guess we're
AOC?
divided.
This
Yeah.
is great. We're very inclusive.
Yeah.
Very different opinions. I guess too we should mention in episode 3 how annoying the Air Force general character is. I guess he's
Oh.
supposed to be that way,
Kick?
but yeah, he's
His name is Kick.
Yes, Kick Rabiston.
Nice guy, nice guy. I like
I spilled beer all over my chair. God damn.
What the?
a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, it's the life of Hayden.
All right, so I mean, I didn't hate this episode, but I guess it's just fine.
Well, I noticed like a theme with all the episodes. It's like they're not the funniest, but each episode has like a feel good moment at the end of it.
Except
guess-
10.
Yeah, except for the last the last one. But like
The last one's fucking insane.
It
yeah.
goes from 0 to 100 so quickly.
Yeah.
Wait,
It
sorry, I was
They come out of
AFK.
nowhere.
Wait, so what do we think? Are we? She's not harder than AOC.
Which
well-
one is which?
Ginger Gonzaga versus AOC.
Is the actress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's AOC. What?
AOC's name is actually AOC Reese. Are you aware?
Yeah. What?
This is news.
Yeah.
I'm getting it now.
All right, so have we said
Oh, and let us know. Let us know in the comments who you think is hotter.
this would
Which is
give-
hotter, Nancy Pelosi or the one who plays Nancy Pelosi in the show?
Oh, definitely the person
Yeah,
who
let us
plays
know.
her in the show.
Who's
But-
hotter, the guy President Trump or the guy who plays President Trump?
They actually don't
Ooh.
ever show the guy who's supposed to be Trump. They just reference him and Melania.
Yeah.
I got one.
But
Who's
they have,
hotter? Aslan or Alex the Lion?
Moto, bro.
Definitely Aslan. Aslan, what
Really?
the fuck is that?
Aslan, okay.
All right, so I guess to push things forward, we go on to episode 4.
Sure.
My
This is
favorite.
the one. Instead of just, I'm just gonna tell you what happens. I'm not gonna read the episode name and all that. This is gonna take too long.
Okay.
This is the one where he's in isolation in the tent.
Oh,
Oh,
this
COVID?
episode was so annoying.
This episode is really bad.
Yeah, the characters that are in the lunar habitat are so annoying. They were pissing me off every moment they were on screen.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Yeah.
This is though the episode where the daughter throws the party and no one comes. So I guess that's the interesting thing that happens this episode.
Yeah, shockingly.
But it's just people. I guess the writers think Steve Carell screaming while he sleeps is funny because that's like the joke throughout this the whole time, and that he keeps farting. I think.
Yeah, that brings up another point. I really think this show is relying heavily on Steve Carell carrying every single moment of it.
Yeah.
Because he is like in every single scene in the entire show.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty much doing everything.
Well, he's having to. It's like real. It seems like it's really poorly written. He's just trying to improv it into something.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, Reese and I were talking about this before, that the reason I think the show isn't funny is because the writers think the idea of just having a space force is funny on its own, and that they just think it's so absurd, and that they just think it writes itself. But it's not that funny.
Yeah, they take it too seriously. Like, if they would do it like to where they are so incompetent they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you had the guy who's like his assistant, who's like the 1-star general, be the head of it.
Yeah.
I guess you could do something, and then like have the scientists be smart but have no power and just be crazy nerds.
Yeah, I think they just wanted. I think people just wanted to be so much like The Office, and they're like, "Well, we're different from The Office, so let's do something different." And then I just don't think it worked. I still enjoyed it.
I don't know
if
you can.
Funny.
You can't have a comedy show where the main character is completely normal and like is like the really good. You can have like a Leslie Knope if she's kind of crazy, but he's just kind of OCD, but he's like the best person though.
Well, he also is the one that kind of solves everything.
Yeah,
So he has like no problem that makes him like interesting.
Yeah.
Like when like every episode he fixes everything on his own pretty much. Like the first episode he does the launch and it works and you're like, okay, cool. And then the second episode he talks to, or in the second episode he has the chimps or not, like he failed, but I mean still worked out in the end.
His idea was farther than anyone else.
Yeah. And then the one where he go to Washington, he had that big speech with the orange.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we got the funding. Like he just has no faults. Like he's like the perfect person.
But then he's goofy and then doesn't understand human interaction.
Then he's Steve Carell. Yeah. So.
And well, then Ben Schwartz is like, "Oh, read my tweet about."
Dude, his character got annoying.
Yeah. Ben Schwartz.
Is like, "Oh, what about this tweet?" He's like, "Oh, so I had a lightsaber, I'd know how to cook a Wendy's hamburger." That was so bad.
And then he said it to that one reporter. That was so cringe.
Like, that's funny with how cringy and bad it is, but I don't think that's what they're intending it to be.
Yeah.
Like, you mean in real life he talked to a reporter? Or
no,
is it still in the show?
No, he's the general and he talks to a reporter.
Wait, Ben Schwartz plays a general?
Ben Schwartz plays like the Twitter guy of the PR dude of Space Force, but he's really bad at his job. Like, he's beyond incompetent. He's like his character in Jake and Amir.
Oh, no. Wait, which one?
The realtor guy.
Dude, I'm getting Ben Schwartz confused with the guy who the guy in Scrubs.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Thomas Middleditch.
No, they don't look anything
Zach
alike.
Braff?
Zach Braff, yeah, Zach Braff.
Here's the next episode is the weird capture the flag game or whatever,
The filler episode.
which I think is everything wrong with this show. They think it's funny that they've got like old people or whatnot. They've got BB guns shooting balloons, but then they take it super seriously.
Yeah.
It's like the
so it's a
paintball
weird
episode of Community, but if it was bad.
Yeah, it's like the quality is bad, and then the tone is so
Well,
serious.
it's weird because the season is not that long. It's only 10 episodes. But they have filler in such a short season. Like this episode felt like filler. But I think they needed the episode to build the relationship between Steve Carell and John Malkovich, because that's kind of why I liked the episode, because I thought it was like a good feel good moment between the two of them, because they
But
pretty much hated each other.
Yeah, but they go back to hating each other right after.
But
That's
they,
what I was
but you
confused
still had
about.
that one episode that had like the bond. So like when they did make up, then it was fine because you understood like why does John Malkovich keep going back to this guy? Because I mean they still have that bond together, and you wouldn't know that without that episode.
uh, I don't know. I think John Malkovich's character needs to be crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean I think they
There's
all
too
have
many
such good
serious
actors.
people for a
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, they're like all such good actors, and they're all funny people too. Like John Malkovich is funny. Have you seen Transformers 3?
Who does he play?
He's
Oh
the
God.
tan guy.
Oh no.
Uh, who's the Who's the guy who plays the Asian scientist? What's his name?
Jimmy O Yang.
Yeah, that
Oh.
guy. There's one scene in this show that just made me so mad. I don't know what episode it's in.
When he's
But-
like in the car, like
No, no, no.
dancing.
No, he's the pilot chick that goes up to him and wants to have lessons to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
while she's talking to him, he's organizing his fries in like a hashtag pattern and stacking them on top of each other. And then he's putting dots of ketchup in a perfect circle around his plate.
I was so confused by that.
Well,
It
he's
was-
Asian. I
Ah.
think that's the joke.
I was like, I don't know what part of character building they're trying to be like. He's OCD or something, because
He's
no OCD person would eat French fries that way.
He's quirky, Micaiah. He's a quirky scientist. He's likable.
But he doesn't have any other
He's
quirky
relatable.
moment except they say that his like
He watches
experiment that he's
anime.
trying to do is he's trying to grow fur on plants, and then you just see him shaving a cactus later on in the show.
Micaiah, he likes anime and K-pop. Okay, he's
Yeah,
not a
don't
big
forget
person.
about the K-pop.
He's just like another character that they got like just a celebrity that they could put on there.
Yep.
Or whatever.
yeah.
But he has
That's the
no
problem with the show.
purpose.
It's
Yeah.
just they have such funny people in it, like Steve Carell, obviously a funny guy. John Malkovich
Well-
is funny. Jimmy O Yang is a comedian. He's funny, but they just don't have anything to do.
Yeah, like Ben
It-
Schwartz is great in Parks and Rec as
Yeah.
John Ralphio. So you can do it.
But I think what made him funny in Parks and Rec was that he's barely in the show, but when he's in it, he's funny because it's kind of like that one little moment, like every now and then, like wow, Ben Schwartz is so funny. But in here, he's in it so much, doing the same thing over and over again that it just gets so annoying.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I thought he was annoying in Parks and Rec too.
Really?
well, he's
I thought
supposed
he-
to be annoying. It's funny how annoying he is. But
Yeah.
All right, whatever. The next episode is even worse. It's where they think there's a spy. This episode is so pointless.
So you think they peaked at episode 2?
Episode 2 is definitely the best. Nothing comes close to it. It is
Yeah.
so funny. I
It's
would
the
have
only
to-
it's the only episode that I laughed a lot in, and not
Yeah.
just kind of like, huh, you know.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think any of them are all that great, and there's kind of goofy moments. But but the spy episode is so dumb, and then there's not even a spy.
Yeah, it's so pointless. Like it's so
Yeah.
obvious the Russian guy's the spy, but they don't even bring that up in the episode. Like
Dude, I thought that was like a red herring, but then
Yeah.
they were like, well, actually, I don't remember what happens.
yeah.
Well, they interview him first, and then he's like, "Oh, Russia's pissed that someone else is taking information and I'm not." It's
Oh.
like,
Yeah, and then at the end it was just like, oh, it's just because India's so smart. Like
yeah,
you
they're
didn't, think
just
India, you didn't think India was
But-
smart enough to do this?
But how did they build the exact same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. That doesn't make any sense that they if they built a rocket and got off fine, but they literally do an enhanced image and they're like, wait, that's the thing we just invented.
And it's the exact same
Yeah.
thing. It looks exactly the same.
And then they never mention again except for like the conjugal visit. Trump doesn't let them have sex with his
Oh
wife.
no, that
Because-
episode is.
Well, the spy episode did have the good moment with they were watching the video of John Malkovich, singing the song.
That's not
thought-
funny.
I
That's
thought it
not
was
funny
funny,
at all.
but it went on
No.
for so long. I thought
It-
it was like it would be funny if it was like, okay, this is entertaining. But then no, it went on for so long.
You thought it was funny at all?
Yeah,
No,
you didn't think
That was not funny.
what?
Shame on you, Ethan.
Dang it!
That-
Don't kick me
no.
out, please.
Like this
Yeah.
show is
Your Rotten
so
Tomatoes membership has been revoked.
Ah, no.
is so unfunny. Like the terrible prison jokes the wife of General Laird makes
Oh yeah.
is like just
Dude,
some of her
When she
comments
comes
are
in
just
with the dreadlocks or whatever.
that's some that's some of the funnier stuff in the show. Shockingly,
Yeah. Well,
it's not good, at least-
relatively.
but compared. All right, the next episode is the entrepreneur with her rocket fuel.
D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, dude, her character was annoying too.
Yeah, she was so annoying in it.
What I didn't get is that if we get it, she's like an entrepreneur who's like just all hype and all talk and doesn't have any product. But she
Yeah.
doesn't she's not an eccentric enough personality or whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point you made earlier that everyone is just normal in the show. It's like they introduce all like these like characters in it that just like come like a little cameo for each episode, but they're not interesting or
No.
memorable. They're just normal.
Yeah,
So yeah.
the only people who have a quirk is, I guess, the pilot chick
Yeah.
is like supposed to be like a nerd or whatever, or super type A, but they don't do any jokes with that. But General Naird is also super OCD and stuff like that, and they try to do jokes with that. It doesn't
That's
work.
their bond.
Yeah.
And then you have his assistant whose like joke is that he's just an idiot.
Oh
But
my
he's
god,
so
dude.
he's so
Oh
dumb.
my
It's not funny
God.
though.
Dude,
Yeah.
that joke when they're like, let him in. He's already in. Oh my. They do that like 5 too many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
It's every episode.
And the episode with Melania Trump when he's trying on all the fashion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
The only two characters who wouldn't exist in real life are the assistant and Ben Schwartz's character.
Yeah.
And they just don't fit with how serious everyone else is.
Yeah, I mean they have such good actors in it. I know they can pull off playing like an eccentric character, but they're just not giving the material.
No, they're all very serious and deadpan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was really confused in the entrepreneur episode with D, because like the end. So she wanted to put the fuel in the rocket, so that she could sell it to Space Force and make like a ton of money.
But she
But
knew it
then-
didn't work?
Yeah, but she knew it didn't work. But at the end, Steve Carell is like, "Yeah, we're not going to do this," and she's like, "Oh, thank God." Like what?
So
That's the whole point. She wanted to do it.
they did a poor job of describing it, but she wants the partnership with Space Force to make her company seem legitimate, so it gets bought by another company.
Yeah.
For a lot of money. But then if it actually blows up with it in it, that'll devalue her company.
But
So she wants it to get bought before it gets. It was just very poorly written, and they could have done it way better.
the Ben Schwartz clone, the girl in the episode who was the assistant of D, she said like, "Oh, she doesn't care if it's gonna blow up. She's just gonna blame it on the government."
Yeah.
But at the end, she's like, "Oh, thank God it didn't blow up." So, or she's
Or,
like, "Thank
that's
God
just
we
like a
didn't use it."
persona.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. It was a conflicting character.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah. And then you have the episode after that, episode 8, where
Oh
the
my God.
conjugal
So
visit,
many episodes.
where they
Conjugal visit.
where they have Steve Carell discuss his wife wants to do the open marriage. which is
Why
just
don't? Yeah,
it's
that was
so
like the
weird. It's
dumbest
so
solution.
unnecessary. It's so
Wait,
weird. It's so
I have to
unnecessary.
ask, where does this show take place? Does this take place in space?
No, it takes
Parts
place
of it.
like a military base in Colorado for the
So
most
is there at any point in the show do they go to space?
at the
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
end. Yeah,
Okay. And is there like a war with China or something like that?
Yeah, that
but
kind of
without
set that up.
without guns. Basically, what they do is they both go on a lunar rover, or whatever, with wrenches, and they both unhook the other one's life support systems. But they both took a roundabout route that neither of them saw each other do it, and the show just ends with all the astronauts stuck on the moon with no life support or anything.
Spoilers.
I mean, at this point, we're wrapping it up.
We got 10 episodes, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
talking about 8. That's just it's just the open marriage episode. It's just kind of weird and
Yep.
just there. Totally
fine.
it's totally unnecessary. It's just kind of in there because I guess it's unconventional and Netflix likes that, but
Well,
it
I
doesn't-
guess they wanted the episode because they forgot they had Phoebe from Friends in the show, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what's going on with her?" So they built a whole episode around Steve Carell wanting to have sex with her, but then she's like, "No, no, no, no. I want to
yeah,
have sex with a bunch of prisoners." He's like, "Oh, okay."
who are also women.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. She's also just another big name they can put on a poster.
Yeah. That's the
But
thing.
I
though, so they
think
have so
she's
many
in the
big
show
names.
for maybe like 20, 25 minutes for the whole
Yeah.
season.
She's barely in it, and she's
Yeah.
such a good actress, and she's a funny person, but she has nothing to do.
Well, hold on. Her neck was creeping me out the whole time, so I
Her
was
neck?
fine. Yeah, have you seen
It's-
it?
Well, it's too long.
No, it's just like has so many lines on it.
What?
It was too much for me. I was like, thank goodness she's not in
Well,
it more.
she's got a weird wig, which just makes her whole look really weird.
Yeah, it's an
That
obvious
did look
wig.
weird.
It's an obvious, really bad blonde wig. It's like probably one of the worst wigs I've seen. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not quite Carnage from Venom bad, but it's pretty bad.
I can't wait for the sequel.
I'll be better than
I
this.
could wait.
All right, so then now episode 9, they're starting to launch into space.
Now this
But-
is where it picks up and gets really, really mediocre.
The funny joke, I guess, is that they get weird contractors into space because of like negotiating problems. So they get insane people up into
Yeah.
space.
Now
That's a funny joke.
that was interesting. That because it was like you need more of those like insane characters.
Yeah, but
And
they're not
she-
going to be focused on.
No,
yeah,
it's.
I thought
it's-
they were actually pretty funny, but they're not. They're barely in it.
I think they could be funny. They're just kind of weird. They don't. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just two insane people, and then you just have normal people again. So I don't know how much it works. And then also, those two guys from the high school in episode 1, they volunteer for Space Force.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
And by episode 9, they're so high ranked that they're two of the people on the moon mission.
They're both astronauts now. What?
And they're not even graduated from high school.
Well,
I get-
granted, they did just hire a plumber off of Yelp to be an astronaut too, so I don't think they're taking it too seriously.
Yeah, but don't they have actual astronauts?
Yeah, they had
Who are
actual
qualified?
astronauts from the where they do the war games with Air Force. There's other people there.
Well, I guess there is a time jump or something because
I
you
don't
know
think
the,
there
the
is.
the pilot chick, she's preparing to be an astronaut, and they don't go into it at all. And then 2 episodes later, she's suddenly an astronaut.
That's all it takes,
Well,
Ethan.
she already knew how to pilot the ship. She just needed to learn about space botany for whatever reason.
I mean, I'm sure it takes a really long time to be an astronaut.
I don't think so.
Well, she was a captain in the
episodes
Space Force, so I don't think there's a time jump, Ethan.
I
If
don't
you
know.
can fly a helicopter, you can be an astronaut.
It just felt so quick because she was like preparing to be an astronaut 2 episodes later, and she was
So-
they barely talked about it. It just felt like they added that in later to say like, oh yeah, she was preparing.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Of course, the big deal in this episode, it ends with they land in China's territory because that's where they were scheduled to land.
Oh yeah.
I don't get that either.
And
Why
then-
can't they both land on the same place?
Well, China's just claiming it as their territory. That's
Yeah.
just China wanting to control the moon. So that makes sense. And then
But
to
I thought they
retaliate-
legally couldn't do that, so they were claiming it as like their experiment.
Well,
But then
yeah,
why can't you have experiments on the same place?
no, but China. The thing was, the experiment was pretty much fake. It was just China trying to claim land.
Yeah,
Even though
Trying
they
to get
couldn't
back
legally
at the
do it.
United States.
They're like, "What are you gonna do? We're here. You're not." Type
Yeah.
of thing. We're
We
China.
beat you to the moon.
We don't care about the rules. That's all it. So it's like lands that they believed they owned. They had the land there, whatever. And then the Chinese rover runs over the Apollo flag site and then backs up over it, which sets up the last episode where Trump wants them to go crazy and
Yeah.
just
It's good to be black on the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the funniest joke I've ever heard.
And she was trending on TikTok because of it.
at least they're keeping up with the trends. They have a
Okay.
TikTok reference in there.
Kids. Oh yeah, so the last
But also, yeah. Then the last episode, it's dumb. What-
Dumb,
we already
that's it.
well, it's just Trump wants them to destroy the Chinese base.
Well, we're not even going to talk about John Malkovich setting himself on fire.
When did he
doesn't-
do that?
Nowhere.
He doesn't. He's like
That happened out of nowhere.
Well, he's like, I'm
No,
gonna
he doesn't set
pro-
himself on fire. I thought he just was
No, he-
prepared
he-
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, if you guys don't stop us doing this, I'm gonna protest. So I'm gonna set myself on fire. He pours the kerosene on his leg or whatever.
That
He's
happened
like,
out of
and
nowhere.
then he's like, yeah, this is about as far as I'm willing to go.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I
that's
think they're trying to make a joke, but it just wasn't that funny. And then he
And the plot
repeats
line
it.
with the meth dealers happens in that episode too.
Yeah,
God.
the daughter getting in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
But the dad can't rescue her because he's arrested for disobeying the order to attack the Chinese base.
Yeah, I was also really confused because so they arrested Naird for
Yeah.
breaking an order, and then John Malkovich is like, you know what, I'm gonna set myself on fire because of this. I can't stand for this. And then he's like, well, maybe I can't do this. And then literally the next scene, he's arrested with Naird tied up. There's no in between of him getting like arrested or anything.
Malkovich wasn't arrested.
Yeah, he was sitting next to him in handcuffs
Oh.
afterwards, and I was so
Oh.
confused.
I don't know. I don't remember. And then, John
God, the show is
Malkovich
bad.
lets Naird break out so he can take a helicopter
Yeah.
and scare off the guys on dirt bikes chasing his daughter. But then you also see that the mom broke out of prison.
Yeah, how'd she do
So-
that?
Well, she's dating the guard or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So the guard helps her escape, and then they're all on the helicopter
Yeah.
flying away. And then then there's the taking apart the Chinese and the American base, and they're stranded, and then it just ends.
Yeah, which is another thing. So the show is obviously setting up for a season 2. Because they
I
have
don't
a
think
lot
so.
of.
It's a Netflix show, so it's 3 seasons, and then it gets canceled.
But that's the thing. It hasn't been renewed for season 2 yet, which
Really?
is weird.
Be.
It hasn't been renewed yet.
That'd be amazing if Netflix watched it and was like, "This is bad. We're not going to renew it." But
Yeah.
Netflix approves everything. I don't think being good is like a
It's
requirement.
just weird
to
they
be on
haven't
Netflix.
renewed it yet because they usually like if they have a show that they feel is going to be popular, they'll renew it before the season even comes out.
I mean, they're putting it on their top 10 in the U.S. So
Maybe they're just trying to get views or something. I don't know. It's just weird because the show's been out for a month already, or close to a month, and it just
it doesn't have a lot of hype because it's
Yeah.
not very good.
like no one's talking about it anymore. Which is why we're doing it for the podcast to bring awareness
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, please watch the show.
Let's get season 2 so we can have more content.
All right, so now let's give our overall opinions of the show. Final review.
Okay.
What are we rating it out of 10?
We got to give it. What's our
Out of
quirky
20.
rating system?
Out of 20. We gotta do something different.
Out of how many rats?
Okay, yeah, okay. Out of how many rats?
I
Out of
give it.
7 routes, what is it?
Oh god, out of 7 rats, I'll probably
Out
give
of
it a
7. What the? Okay.
4.5, maybe.
4.5.
I
Hold
thought
on,
you
let me do
liked
some-
it.
Well,
Well, that is pretty good.
5?
That's like a 5 out of 10.
Oh.
No,
Ah,
no,
ah.
no. It's a 6.5 out of. All right, let's just do it out of 10. This is too complicated.
Dude, I pulled up my calculator. I was like, what the fuck is 4.5 out of 7?
I would probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Let me do some calculations.
I
7
think
out of 10. Interesting.
I think I would
It's
give
7.
it. I think I would give it a 6, and that's being very generous. I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 5.
You know, it might be
It's
a
close
5 and
to
a
a
half.
4.
Yeah, I think it's a 5.5
Out of 20?
out of 10.
Hayden, what would you rate it?
Space Force. You know what? 20 out of 20. We'll watch at some point.
There you go.
Perfect vision.
You heard it. Definitive. You heard it here, folks.
Worth watching. Space Force, worth watching.
Yeah, there's nothing coming out because of the coronavirus. I mean, number 1 in the Netflix top 10 is The Floor is Lava, which I thought
It's
was gonna
something
be
to tide you
interesting,
over until
but-
Fleabag season 3 comes out.
Oh yeah, speaking of
Alright, hey. Alright, so we doing the B plot now?
Yeah, so now that we've discussed how mediocre this show is, let's go to the beat plot.
This is where it gets good.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up some pictures real quick. And well,
Yeah.
before we get into that, let's just Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's an actress, okay,
From Fleabag.
from the hit
Right.
TV show Fleabag. Yes, and
And Star
well, how
Wars.
many of us have seen this show?
I have not.
I have.
I have
Okay.
not.
So I
So
think
half
it's just
and
me and
half.
Reese.
She's the
Yeah.
acclaimed writer of the new James Bond movie.
She's one of the writers.
That's a good movie.
So I've been obsessing over this woman and perusing through thousands of images on Google to figure out, is Phoebe Waller-Bridge hot? And the conclusion I came to was that she's a solid 7 out of 10, but
Like Space
it
Force.
wasn't until I saw these photos of her in what appears to be a corset, and I'll pull them up.
No.
But before that, so well, Reese, what do you think?
I was initially like, no, not hot at all.
Right.
No. But then I saw
I think
the
she's
show.
just got really bad haircuts. I think that's part of
Yeah.
if she had longer hair.
This is like one of the hardest decisions I've had to make because
So you watched Fleabag, and then I assume she went up a few points.
a few. She's at a
few. Okay, so
6.
you're at a 6. You're at a 6. I'm at a
Yeah.
7. Ethan Micaiah, thoughts?
I don't think she's hot.
So
Whoa.
what are you saying? A 4 or 5 out of
Well,
10?
well. I'm
Remember,
looking at
5's
pictures
average.
right now. I'm looking at pictures of
Yeah.
her right now, and
Okay.
like almost all of them, I don't think she's hot. But there's this one picture of her at the Emmys,
Mhm.
and she's a solid 7, I would
Can you
think.
pull that
Okay.
one on the screen?
That's what I'm saying.
I think with her normal haircut, she's a 5, but I have seen some haircuts with longer hair.
I like how the recommended for her on Google is Eva Green. Similar search results.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Say that again?
So
So
like
I-
if you search Phoebe Waller-Bridge on Google and you go to images, it has like the recommended searches that go with her, and one of them is Eva Green.
Well, that's so people have had this debate before. We brought up Eva Green too, and
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that Eva Green was the peak
Yeah.
of the female form.
She's a very hot woman.
Man, I love the B plot in these shows. We went from Roman Atwood's Donkey to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and now we're Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Wait till the next one. I got a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the next one's gonna be so good.
Okay, can you see this?
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right, you ready for this? You ready for the unveiling? Oh, you can see it in the corner. Oh shoot. Okay. All right, well, jig's up. Boom.
Ooh.
I mean,
Ah.
the face. I can't.
Yeah.
Now that
If I've ever seen a
photo's
6
that
out of 10,
photo's yeah
it's
that's
been
a s-
this.
yeah that photo's a 6, Hayden. That's not your best work.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Well,
hold
look up the
on.
picture of her at the Emmys.
This is not a convincing argument.
Yeah, you've kind of hurt your argument with
Yeah.
this photo.
Well, hold on. This is you don't think that's
No.
No,
Look
No.
at the face.
for fuck's sakes. All right, well let's get into that then. So ignoring the face, let's just go by body. So let's rank body
Okay.
first.
She has a nice body, yeah.
She has a nice body. Okay, so we can all agree
7
upon
out of
that.
10 body. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 body.
this
Oh,
is
what
She's got a
the-
whip here, bro. Okay, now I want to watch this show. This is apparently from Broadchurch. All right, I gotta check this out.
this is completely unrelated, but back to Space Force. The guy,
Oh, great.
Joe
Oh,
Swanson is in it, and Jane Lynch are in it for no reason.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
barely in the
yeah.
show, and they do nothing.
But
And
they
they're
were in the
such big-
trailer.
They're such big names.
That's what I'm saying. They have such big names for everyone, but they have nothing to do with them. It's so lame.
All right, so what's the consensus on Phoebe Waller-Bridge's face? Can you see these photos?
Well, from this angle, she looks
That looks
good.
pretty
But if
good.
you go down
Yeah.
one row and 3 to
Yeah.
the right,
Yeah,
let's talk
Okay,
about
but you have to
that.
remember she's dolled up in these photos.
Well,
These are
she's wearing
professional
makeup and yellow.
photos. But these are, I
So
mean,
she should look better.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the birthmark.
yeah, what is that? Is that vitiligo? Is she like 1/84th African American or something? What's going on there?
It's barely noticeable.
I mean, she probably uses that as like a, well, I'm deformed too. She probably throws that around as if that actually like makes a difference.
Well, I think it makes her a lesser person, but it's barely noticeable.
Yeah, dude, I'm
As
sticking
far
with
as the
my
hot or
guns,
not.
dude. I think she's a hot woman. I think she's like she's sexy.
Sexy? I don't know.
Look
I
up the
don't
picture
know.
of her at the Emmys.
I mean, Hayden,
Okay,
you're
you just
entitled
got
to your own
one foot.
opinion. This is America. But this is probably one of the weirdest takes you've had because you've been rallying behind this for quite some time. You're passionate about
Like that
this,
photo right
which-
there with her in front of the sign. Like to
This
Well,
one?
she's
Yeah.
got 2
Yeah.
Emmys.
no, that one right there that you're on. She looks good in that photo.
I think she's a 6.
In
Which
this
is
photo,
not
she's
bad.
definitely 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
No shame in being a 6. No, 5. You know, I changed something, but 6.
well, what would
not
you rate her?
bad. 6,
Okay,
maybe 7. Maybe.
I gotta watch
On a-
Fleabag.
On a good day.
She's a great actor, but
Oh, and we can't
Not
forget Fleabag. Andrew Scott. Dude, this
oh,
is Jack.
oh, no,
this is Jack,
is a
bro.
good one.
This is
This is a
Jack.
good one.
Jack Swass.
Oh, no,
Jack.
he does look like Jack.
Hello, it's
No,
Jack.
Jack.
Especially
is our
in the
friend.
picture second to the right of the top row.
Jack. You think we can get Jack to listen to the podcast?
Oh
Think
yeah.
we can get him to be on the podcast?
Yeah, can we get Jack on here?
Yeah, what's his take?
The Jack that we know.
yeah, Jack.
Just don't mention my P code and we'll be fine.
we gotta bring it up.
Does Jack know about the podcast?
I don't think anyone does except for us.
Well,
And our 12 subscribers, of course.
And some bots. But you know.
hey, no, these 12 subscribers, they're all real. They're all
Logan.
stands.
Logan.
You know. Logan,
Dude, that's
shut out.
that's Jack, bro. That's
That
fucking
is Jack. He looks exactly
Dude,
like
I
him.
mean, I don't know if this guy's
God
face
damn it.
is long enough to be Jack's.
No, well
It's
there are
close.
subtle differences, but
Yeah.
that's
That's pretty
You have to
close.
be able
That's
to tell 'em
fucking-
apart.
it's Jack Swass, bro.
Yeah, that is Jack. Shout out to Jack.
Dude.
It's
It is.
Andrew Scott. It's Andrew Scott with Phoebe
Anne-
Waller-Bridge.
Oh.
Look, Phoebe Waller-Bridge looks great there. What are you talking about?
That's Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I'd say that Anne
Oops.
Hathaway looks good.
Yeah, what's she up
She's a,
to?
she's a 6 as well.
What?
Oh,
Are you serious?
no, did you
No.
see her at Ocean's
No.
8?
Are you serious?
No.
She's
Did
a
I mean,
anybody-
she's a lot
No.
older now.
Well, hold on. You saw Ocean's 8
Yeah, I did. I'm a huge fan of the Ocean's
and
series.
Paddington? What the?
Ocean's 8 is not good, but I love a heist movie. Knives Out,
Better
that
than
was great.
Paddington?
Well, we gotta watch The Last Days of American Crime. I heard that's an amazing heist movie.
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Hold
Dude,
on.
that's a 10. That's a 10, bro.
Uh,
Whoa. Whoa.
That's a 10, dude.
Hey,
That's a
Hayden,
10.
I don't think you're gonna get us with the
Okay, if
Speedy
she's a
Wall.
10, what do you think Anne Hathaway is?
I'm just playing. She's not a 10, dude. She's not a 10. She's like a 7.5. 7.5 now. I've moved
But
up.
what
a
do you
little.
think Anne Hathaway is?
Oh, Anne Hathaway is definitely. She's like probably a 9. I think we can all agree, right?
Yeah, she's a 9.
Yeah.
Well, when she has short hair.
No, I don't dig the short hair look.
Like
Yeah,
That being
not a-
said, it is worth looking up Phoebe Waller-Bridge with long hair. This might.
No, I saw
ring a few
photos with
bells.
her, and it made her better.
Look at Phoebe Waller-Bridge Star Wars, and that'll
Right.
change your mind on how she.
She's in
Because
Star
she
Wars.
looks pretty good in that movie.
What is she in Star Wars? Is she
Yeah,
Mon
she
Mothra?
played a droid.
No, she's
Oh.
a robot.
Oh!
Boom.
Oh, she's the droid that Donald Glover likes.
Yeah, and possibly Fox, I think.
That's an attractive droid.
She looks like Buzz Lightyear. What the heck?
She does.
Oh no! No, Buzz Lightyear, hot or not.
Oh, definite 10.
Definitely
What?
not.
So
Oh.
fuck. Then.
All right. Are we?
To infinity and beyond.
I think that's a good point of any to wrap it up. Sure.
Sure.
We've got
Let's
some
get to a
fluff
natural
at-
conclusion.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
let's
Let us know what you think of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Is she hot or not? Give us your rating.
Yes
Choice
or
is yours.
no?
This is what we want the show. We want this to be the gist of the show. We want to be about rating women.
Yeah, it's great to be a podcast.
We want
about
to
men
objectify women,
yeah.
rate women.
in 2020.
In 2020, this is important. So
Yeah.
that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And also about Space Force, talking about Space Force.
They go hand in hand.
But wait, hold on. To tie it all together, she is as attractive as Space Force is as good as a TV show.
No, she's
What?
better looking than Space Force is a TV show.
Ah,
Okay, you're right. I was just trying to tie it in.
Yeah. Space Force is very mediocre. 5, 6 on a good day.
Whoa, well, hold on. Was that Ron Howard?
Yeah, he
Who's Ron
directed
Howard?
Solo.
Ugh.
All right, we gotta.
This is Domhnall Gleeson, everybody. This is a stud right here.
All right, we gotta wrap it up, boys.
he was the rat.
He was the rat.
Yeah,
And what?
the Rise of Skywalker, bro.
Oh,
Oh my god. Oh god, I forgot about that
Well,
movie.
Ethan,
Great
you're in
movie.
luck. Because Jared is not here this week, that does officially make him the rat.
Yes,
So in the
Yeah, you
power
get off a week.
rankings, yeah,
finally.
so in the power rankings, Ethan's been the rat for 2 weeks. Jared now is the rat for 1 week, 1+. You know, he's got to earn himself not being the rat in next week's episode. So
What is the topic for next week's episode?
we're gonna have to discuss that off
Oh.
the air. So I have no idea.
Well,
our next guys. Let me know in the comments which phone I should get. I've been thinking about getting the iPhone SE 2020, but I've also been thinking about getting the iPhone 11 Pro. So it's a question of whether or not I want
a
to
good
flex.
phone.
Yeah.
Well, they're both good phones.
Well,
I mean, it's still an upgrade from what I have right now. I have like a badly cracked iPhone 7 Plus.
you don't want to keep that?
No, I can't. It's a safety hazard at this point.
Can't get
Um,
splinters while texting.
Look at the white. Look at the white. iPhone SE white, dude. Look at this. That's like
Looks like a
clean
phone
phone.
2010.
Nice.
All right. I'm just gonna wrap things up.
Wrap it up.
All right.
Oh, but
Well,
this is the good stuff. This is
Let
the
me know
secret.
let me know which phone I should get
Yeah.
in the comments section.
please do. Our 12 subscribers are
Please.
definitely tech savvy.
But we are a tech channel.
Yeah, we're everything.
What's our- Okay.
So thanks everybody for watching. If you made it this far, listening to our mediocre podcast about a mediocre show, congratulations. You are now legally allowed to subscribe to the podcast
And, hit
and
the bell
refer a
notification.
friend. And hit the bell notification. Refer
That'll
a
be going
friend.
off all the time because we upload.
Leave a like, post on our subreddit, which definitely is a real thing.
Yeah.
Our fans are wild.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're us.
That was the Rat Podcast, and see you guys next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Soft wallpaper.
Bye.
Bye.